I think they closed it down. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, absolutely. I checked it out too. Yeah, I checked it out. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What do you say? He said, bro, it's 7 o'clock here, man. Yeah, I know. I'll be seeing y'all soon too, bro. I didn't even see that. Peace, peace, peace. We gonna have a good one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I see it. Mm-hmm. Peace. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Peace, everybody. I just had to respond to a message. I always like to give it a little time because we never in a rush. We're never ever in a rush. But I do want to say peace to everybody, light and illumination. Oh, he funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Right. Peace, man. Don't mind me. Give me a minute. If anybody, give me a quick second. Peace to everyone. I'll show y'all a little something. If we got time. Peace, bro. Well, yeah, we on YouTube as well. But not too many people yet. But, you know, I always like to pre-record. But my pre-recording be live. My pre-recordings be live, so that's how I like to do it. For my archives. So that it can be chopped and screwed however it's gonna get done. But peace, 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 peace to everyone. Had a busy day. Productive day. Yeah, it's a very productive day. But there's some things in history that I think, especially for our youth, especially for our adults, as you know, times start to spin around again. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. And how things are taught or maybe not learned in circles, and how things are repeated. I think sometimes we should start checking those things and making sure we don't continue to spread false teachings, you know, amongst our community. You know, and I go across the board from religion and history. No matter what acronym we try to use it, all of it is history. But I do want to show something as we get into the subject of what you may seen and what you may have not seen. But I'm gonna show you two pieces of literature. One piece, one piece of literature, I'm sure they pass out in academia, and it talks about. I'm sure everybody's seen this book in academia, or in high school, or college, or just anywhere. You've seen this book, I'm sure. And what I able to do is talk about some things and show some things in the vernacular. When I use this word, I don't mean it in any way to disrespect no one. I'm just using it in the way that you can look it up and see how the word is used in its context. When you can see how history is, and individuals and establishments and cultures can be whitewashed out of the history books. Not even alone just whitewashed out of the history books. Not even spoke on in our group. And when we say we have our scholars and our educators and our teachers, that should be able to come and speak on these specific topics, especially if they teaching our kids civics. Now, civics goes on all levels. Civics can go on law, civics can go on a religious aspect, but in this context, we're going to base it on a historical perspective, where a group of peoples, you know, I don't want to say peoples because that's not the word. We're a group of humans or men, you know, were whitewashed from the history books. And I always say, if this didn't matter or if that didn't matter, why wasn't this told? If nothing matters, when you can just try to make someone shut up, you can say, well, it didn't matter because it's all about love. And I understand that to a degree. I understand that to a degree, but to a degree. But to a young man, to a young girl, or even middle-aged man, or anyone that may have think you did nothing in history, and all your history come from some slave stuff, I think that's doing a disservice for not only you, not only for your mother, your father, and your ancestors, but everyone you come across. Everything that you may bring to someone. I think your whole perspective of life is shook up, especially when we say it don't matter. Because I always say, if it didn't matter, why wasn't this stuff widely spread? Why wasn't this stuff widely spread that I'm going to show you? That can easily, with no hard research, can be shown. But then you have to ask yourself, now what? And as I walk you through a little history, when I walk you through a little history, you're gonna be able to be like, well, why so, sir? And a lot of times when I teach or when I do lectures, it's not for me to answer your question. It's for me to give you the research. And you make a sound understanding from what? From the information that you have. Let's see, would you be just? Or let's see, would you still operate on a religious dogmatic perspective? Or your feeling, which a lot of people base their understanding on feeling. Because they can't admit when something is introduced to them or something that they may be sincere on, you can be sincerely wrong. And I thought we wanted the truth. And that's why I say a lot of our brothers and sisters don't want the truth, because they know exactly what I'm talking about. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why? And I say, ask them. I say, ask them. Ask them. And you'll get to the bottom of it. So, this little red book right here, 1776, right? I'm sure everybody heard of this. I'm sure everyone heard of this book. If you haven't, say, no, I ain't heard of it. If you have, say, yep. So if that's the case, I don't have to go so deep with the story of the Battle of Bunker Hill. You know what I mean? But I do want to, let me see something. I do want to illustrate something because I want to show you two pictures. Before I even get into the forward of this book, have anybody ever seen this book? When I say I'm not on no religious person's side. Even Noah Drali talk about these brothers in the Exhumed of the Nation from his perspective, which is all good, which I get. But then, like I say, I come from a righteous perspective where I'm in the flesh. I can add value too, because I understand everybody plight when you don't understand. I understand everybody plight when you don't understand, and that's okay. But I'm here today to add value too, not disrespect, to add value too and have those conversations. That's what I'm saying. That's what we do here. We add value too. If we scientists, we in a laboratory with our test tubes and our beakers, right? 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 Right. But you see this picture right here? Now take a look at this picture, family. Take a look at this picture. This is when I tell you, yeah, and like what do you say? Yeah, share it, yeah, share it on your page. We're gonna do something here, we're gonna walk you in history and watch this whole fake history be told to your kids and your kids. And then professors will teach it. Just like the Willie Lynch and the Roots fake stuff. Now y'all see this, look at the picture, right? Look good at that picture. I want everybody to take a good look at the picture for a minute. Now, remember I told y'all about a book named Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. I'm going to have to pull it out. It's showing how, a lot of the icons, the biblical icons, were melanated, and a lot of them, when they found a lot of that stuff, they tried to repaint them and paint them lighter and things. Just like a lot of the Vikings, they tried to lighten them up. And they did. And then an art style in history where they just changed the noses. It'll come to me, the artistry style. But everyone know what I'm talking about when you're a historian. And then history goes with art, and art goes with maps. Maps are cartographers, and what people scoped and what people pinpointed is what they saw. From Lewis and Clark on the way down to Bertram Thomas, when he stayed with the ARAP, A-R-A-P, and these just facts. So as you're looking at this picture, so this one of the pictures of the so-called Battle of Bunker Hill, right? Right, you know the story. You know the story, okay? So now, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something right here. Now, this picture, that picture I showed you, is the same picture. It's the same picture with my finger on it, but it's someone else in the picture, that circle. Now, when you take a good look at that, let me show my other platform too. When you see that, you can see what I'm talking about. You see that? You see that Battle of Bunker Hill? You see that picture? You see that circle of that other individual in the Battle of Bunker Hill? You see the brother circle? The other, I'm gonna talk about the other brother in a minute. But look, let me put it closer. I'm gonna show you who the other two brothers in the boat is in a second. So you see that? You can see that with your eyes. So you know I'm not playing no game with you. You see that? Okay. Now, let's talk about it. As we've shown that, let's talk about it. So, this right here is by David Barton. Now, you can pull up when I was I used to do a lot of lectures at GCU. Now, and David Barton, you can pull him up on YouTube. He got a lot of videos. They talk about so much stuff in history that a lot of our own people didn't know. Like Henry Hoosier. If you ever hear about the Indiana Hoosiers, see the history of the so-called Black Reverend that they know they named it after. A lot of this stuff our own people don't know about because we're not in those groups. So I showed you the battle. I showed you in the book that you get in school, 1776, right? I showed everybody this. You all saw this. I said, look at the picture. Look at the picture, because we don't want no fake history repeated to our children. After today, you should be illuminated and be like, yep. You should ask questions. All your teachers, everything, you should be able to go and ask them questions. You should be able to go ask them questions. And then all you got to do is pull up all David Barton videos on everything that I'm speaking on. And then you will see who's lying to you. So, you saw that picture, right? And y'all know the story of Battle of Bunker Hill. It'll take me too long to talk about it. So, here it is. Setting the Record Straight, American History in Black and White by David Barton. And then I'm going to show you Peter Salmon at Bunker Hill, and I'm going to show you Prince Whipple and Oliver Cromwell. Now, I just showed you the picture, the battle at Bunker Hill, and you ain't see no Peter Salmon. And then if you pull up the picture, you ain't going to see Prince Whipple and Oliver Cromwell. Neither one of them Moorish brothers. And there they go. See? Right in your face. Right? I want people to see that. I want that for the record. And so let's give a little introduction of what the book says. Stay in context. African Americans originally came to America unwillingly, having been stolen and sold by Muslim slave catchers in Africa to Dutch traders journeying to America in 1619. That's what he said. Yet they have withstood so many dark changes, blah, 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 blah. As President William Howard Thraft admirably note, their ancestors came here years ago against their will, and now this is their only country and their only flag. They have shown themselves anxious to live for it and to die for it. The story of African Americans is not unlike that of God's chosen people, the Jews, originally prospering in their homeland. They were taken to a foreign land where for centuries they lived enslaved. And hold on, let me write. I got a note to write down. Hold on, man, because every time I speak, so much stuff just pop up. Nah, I remember it. I remember it though. I remember that little note. If that conversation come up. But a lot of this stuff, you know, people haven't. You just haven't known. James A. Garfield, America's 20th president, personally witnessed the final chapter in the deliverance of African Americans from slavery in America. He fought to abolish slavery as a Union general during the Civil War, and afterwards as a member of Congress, voted for the abolition of slavery, and led in the passage of almost 2 dozen civil rights bills. Garfield fought side by side with African Americans during the Civil War. Don't that sound familiar? The free Hebrews of Israel Hill. And after the war, he worked side by side with first African American congressmen to pass those early civil rights bills. President Garfield proudly declared of African Americans with unquestioning devotion to the Union, with a patience and gentleness not born of fear. Blah, 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 blah. The 4-century long story of African American political history truly is an incredible story, but much of the early history is unknown. It said, but much of the early history is unknown. Why is much of the early history unknown? Why is much of the history unknown? And we have all these scholars and these educators that say they have a degree in African American history. I have a PhD. This is what they say. They say they have a PhD in African American history. And so here I'm telling you, if they have a PhD in African American history, I'm telling you for over centuries, this political history is truly is remarkable, and it's been unknown to these brothers that say they scholars. That's why I say I challenge all the brothers that profess this and say this, and they have education and they speak in academia halls and teach our children. Why you don't know this? You see? Why? Because it's right in our face. You only know about certain people that they give you. Martin Luther King, W. Du Bois, Malcolm X. Few know about the extraordinary heroes from the first 3.5 centuries of that history. For example, I wrote a book. I got one of my books that I show you the scholars in history, the Moorish scholars in history, Asiatic scholars in history, brothers and sisters that look like you, men and women, PhDs, and a lot of people don't even know about it. I had a young man talk about that in so-called African American history class. This is an elementary student. They was like, well, how did you know about this? Where did you get this from? My sheik. And this is what I be telling people. We have to talk about it. Not nobody else, because why should they? But who know about the life of Reverend Hiram Rose reveals? And then I love our prophet Noble Drew Ali. But when you read things and then if you have the eye to hear and ears to listen, to see, you will see when people be like trying to play or use their so-called power over people, to not have people be critical thinkers. Because when we have a mission for the people, we got to be critical with this. We got to be strategic with this. We got to understand our money is electric. So when we doing things, we got to know the power of what? We being the establishment. We got to know the power of that. We have to know that, and we can't run from that. And that's what I'll be telling people today. Our brothers, I say, you can't run from something that you establish. You got to understand how these things work. If not, go sit down. But the first black U.S. senators, or that Joseph Haney Rainey, who overcame slavery to become the first African American elected to the U.S. Congress to serve as Speaker of the U.S. House, or of John Rock, the first African American admitted to the U.S. Supreme Court bar. The reintroduction of history is long overdue. And this is what the Europeans say. So we can say all what we want to say from a religious perspective when we pick sides, and then when we don't build on to what we have. We try to destroy things that say, hey, are you listening? People don't even be listening to the power. And then you see these other fraternities with these other nationalities, and I say, do you see the power of the vote? When I show you about the Wilmington's white man constitution, what they did in the Carolinas, and you see what they did, and then you still not listening to me? When I show you that the Klan is under the Quran, when I start showing you structure and organization, when I say you build on to things, you don't destroy nothing, if it don't supposed to be destroyed. But speaking of accomplishments, President John F. Kennedy once observed, I am certain that it was not easy task to compress into a single volume an American Negro a century-long struggle to win the full promise of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. Such was the case with the works. Indeed, it was no easy task to compress into a single volume the story of so many notable heroes. But I've tried. This is what the Europeans saying. This is what the writer of the book saying. This is what David Barton saying, family. And then pull him up on YouTube. In the preparation of this work, I have been asked by African Americans and Anglos. Who is Anglos? Research it. No disrespect to no one. Man, I got European professors say, well, who you think Revelations 3:9 and 2:9 was talking about? He said they talking about us. He was like, we're not no Jews. He was talking about his own kind. He was like, Sheik, you a scholar, you're educated. We can't sit up here and just tell you that, and you initiated. Come on, man. That's why I be telling people, stop the cap. The history is written, and we sit up here playing. I, as an Anglo, who? The writer. He said, I, as an Anglo. This is what the writer's saying. He ain't saying I as a Jew, excuse my candor, or I as this, or I as a Persian, or I as this. He said, I as an Anglo would care about the story of African American political history. The answer is simple. It is because I am an American, period. This is what the Europeans said, and this is what Noble Drew Ali was saying, and this is what I'm telling you. And this is what I'm telling you. I said the only people that's getting abused, we talk about they morals, is they coming with some crap, with some crap. The story of the African American history is a part of American history. I am an American, therefore it's part of my history. This is what the writer's saying. Who? An Anglo. Furthermore, I am inspired by all stories of sacrifice, courage, patriotism, regardless of the skin color of the hero. The stories of African American heroes such as Richard Allen, Henry Highland Garnet, and John Roy Lynch are as thrilling to me as the stories of all the American heroes of Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark wrote about what they saw in Americas. To Helen Keller. You know, they thought Helen Keller was working for the other man. You know, the government and all that. Research what I'm telling you. To Alvin York. I hope that you will be inspired by the work, but he was just saying about his work. Now let me show you about the pictures that they whitewash in history, that your kids going to get this. They're not going to get what I'm going to tell you. Your kids are going to get this, and you're going to get this. And then you're going to promulgate it through some fake history because you afraid to tell the truth. They show you that you was all in the history. So let me give you the perspective of David Barton, since you don't want to believe me. And David Barton wrote this in 2004. This whole everything in here is older than me. And when I lecture this in the college, you can hear a pin drop. I do this stuff in the African American departments to prove a point. Just like I love all my Islamic brothers, but when they come with the games, I say, dude, you can't get mad at me because I can show you everything, get the Judo-Christian terminology. You can't get mad at me if it's Persian, Jewish, Christian, not African. When I know how to deal with the language, when a person say this language or this is better than that, I'll be like, stop the cap. I can show you all those lands and everything that you think is are Jewish terminologies. So when a person come with that, I'll be like, dude, you're going to have to stop. I can show you all in a house of wisdom. All this stuff that's there, all these old Islamic texts that tell you about the language and what this means and why this was and how they took this stuff and converted all these ancient texts and converted them to Islamic texts. So don't come to me with that religious dogmatic perspective, because then we're going to have a real conversation. And this is facts. All this stuff, hadith, all this stuff, surah, all that stuff, those Jewish terminologies. It's certain cities, surah. These is facts. This ain't no made up stuff. This ain't no made up stuff. So when we come to school, when I say we can be resurrected, we can do these things in the house. You know? We can do something real. People can see something that really happens when it's done the right way with structure and organization. But African American history, so much of it is truly unknown today. For example, few knew of James Amistad. Ask your kids, do they know about him? A black patriot and spy who helped make possible the 1781 Yorktown victory during the American Revolution that established America and its independent nation. Ask your Greek fraternity brothers that, or your brothers that say they study African American history. Because if they say they know this, then why are we not promulgating it? Why are we not standing strong? Because if the other man is standing strong, if the Anglo-Saxon is standing strong and tell you this and have YouTube videos, what you gonna get mad at me for? And that's when I say the white man, he already unspoken for me. When I tell my muftis, when I say I've done this, nobody can be mad what I'm saying. Why? Because this work has already been done. The Europeans already, the Albion, the Trinidite, just like the prophet said, they already know what I'm saying. The videos is there. You can pull all this stuff up, what I'm saying. Everything I talk about, languages and lexicons, when I talk about surah is Judeo areas and the Hadith and all that. If the city came renowned as a bishopric or a bishop center, you know, a providence of Jews, when I show this stuff, no one can be upset if I can show you the proof. You can't be mad when you say something ancient and nothing can't be ancient if I show you the whole where the terminology come from. All it was is translating books to Arabic. When you go to the house of wisdom, what? You have to know. When I said the scholars lived in the museum, I wasn't saying that just to be saying that. People don't be catching that. I'm telling you real talk. The real scholars stayed in the museum. I stay in the museum. So when people be coming with this religion and all this and trying to say this and other, man, stop the cap. It's Judeo-Christian terminology transferred to what? Arabic. I'm telling you. From scholarship. It's no disrespect to no one. But do you know about Peter Selman, a black patriot who was a hero of the 1775 Battle of Bunker Hill? He also fought as one of the legendary Minutemen and was a soldier at the Battle of Saratoga and Stony Point. In fact, a monument was erected to his memory in Massachusetts to commemorate his life and deeds. Why don't you know about this? And in the famous picture, remember I showed y'all? Remember the famous picture I just showed y'all? What your kids gonna get if they say, "Oh, mine took civics class." You gonna get all these pictures of these people in these books. And when I show you, and watch this, watch when I keep sticking the fork in it. You see this book right here, but see who you see in the background. You see the young Moor on the horse, pinpointing his holding. The Moor ain't dressed like the, no disrespect, the European, the Albion. The Albion, the European, the Trinidite is dressed like the young Moor on the horse. Now, somebody come here and tell me what I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll go even deeper. But I'm just gonna stay in how can I say, in the schoolmaster, because little by little, that's how you learn. You gotta ingest to get. You gotta and be able to ingest just a little bit, especially if you've been starving. I don't want to put too much down your throat. You see that picture right there? I showed y'all. They whitewashed them brothers right out the picture. This is what you're gonna get in school. This is what you're gonna buy. That's why I say you can't believe everything in the book. You have to be willing to do the work. Because a person to pick up a book and say, you see that? And just be talking, and I'll be sitting back like, ooh, man, stop. Just like when people talk about language. And I love all my Islamic brothers. I love all my Al-Islam brothers. But I know the difference from the Sunni Muslims and the Nation of Islam brothers. Like, they believe totally different. They believe totally different. And then they got the nerve, but then when it comes down, that's why a lot of Nation of Islam Muslim type brothers that's rock with Farrakhan as their prophet in the flesh. Elijah Muhammad. A lot of them don't even read the Quran. They just deal with the lessons. See, this is no disrespect. I know this because I know. And then when I show you the lessons, the person get mad. They say there's tradition. They say, well, this means this. And I say, well, you can't get mad because it's not law. And that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story from love and wisdom. That's why I said we have to clean our own house up. I respect people's wisdom and angle, but you can't say this is who we are. You can't say that. You can't say with the fact this is who we are, who all of us, and this is that. When I can show you, and from manufacturing this, the language, the culture, the history comes from a whole different culture. It comes from this, and I can show you that the Arabic language, all that stuff, and all those books that you think is Arabic history, none of that was some old Judeo-Christian terminology book that was translated to Arabic. I can show this in history. I've done the language. I showed y'all the Syriac language, the Habitat alphabet. I can go even deeper with a lot of that stuff that you think Islamic is just Judeo-Christian. And it's no disrespect to nobody at all. Even when I do this history, I said you cannot diss the facts. The peer-reviewed scholarly research, when I say, well, who lying to you? Because ain't nobody else lying to you. All our brothers got an angle. And when this can be proven, the first thing we start doing is get mad, like somebody want to fight. But ain't nobody fought the European because the European put all this out here. This is what I be telling people, like what's the trip? If I can show you all this in lexicons, if I can show you hadath or hadith, just like when they say well Abraham, like that's different. Man, no, stop playing that game. We ain't gonna play no semantics. I've done showed all this. I can show you where surah at, Judeo-Christian. And it's the reading of a certain type of scripture, not no Islamic text. And all I tell a person is fact check me. And when you do it, you got to be like, man, this brother coming from love. I'm not coming from no way. I'm coming from wisdom. You say the truth will make you free, then you should want the truth. This Church of the East, Church of Catholic, you should Al-Mamun. When I tell y'all about this Al-Mamun, when I tell y'all about this story, you're gonna have to be like, yes, I agree. When I start breaking down peer-reviewed facts, the house of wisdom. If what I'm saying wasn't facts, why I can prove it so easily from scholarship, historicalness, and language, and why I can show you Sunni Muslims and Nation of Islam Muslims believe totally different. And a lot of the Nation of Islam Muslims today, a lot of ones, I don't gotta say their names, they say they deal with the lessons. And I say, what lessons? The Red Book? So if you're dealing with the Red Book, no disrespect. But if we're dealing with wisdom, and you an educator and a scholar, and you use your compass and a square, which you say you do, and most of them are Masons, then clearly your science is off. With all love. And you can argue all day and act like you're going to do something, which is the stupidest stuff that we do to each other, on something that can be proven not valid. Why do we do that? Because we're scared. That's the problem, because we're scared. But let's proceed. But they don't show you Peter Salmon, who was a black patriot, who was a hero of the 1775 Battle of Bunker Hill. He fought alongside, he also fought as one of the legendary Minutemen and was a soldier at the battles of Saratoga and Stony Point. In fact, a monument was erected to his memory in Massachusetts to commemorate his life and deeds. You see that, family? And in the famous picture of the 1776 crossing of Delaware on Christmas night, the picture I just showed y'all here, two men depicted at the front of the boat include Prince Whipple and Oliver Cromwell, two black patriots who served with George Washington and other American generals during the Revolution. You didn't know about this? See, this is going to go down in history. What I'm telling you going to go down in the history books. What I'm telling you going to go down in history. Be sharing this with your kids. See, I already knew the stuff I do. I'm not here to go viral. I want my people to share this because what I showed y'all. You whitewash all through history, and then when our people teach this stuff in academia, they always teach you some fake slave history, and I already debunked all that, and they won't tell the true history. I just showed you how they whitewashed Oliver Cromwell and Prince Wilford out of the Battle of Bunker Hill, out of here, and I just showed you. Here it is. A European had a right to write a book, and a European called himself an Anglo-Saxon, not a Jew. And I can show you lectures of professors that I know that say, no, we're not no Jews. Revelation 2 and 9, 3 and 9, they're like, we Anglo-Saxons, talking about themselves. So don't get mad at me. They right here. They right there. Look at the brothers. They whitewashed them out of history books. Now, why they ain't a book your kid gonna get? You should ask them that. Ask them that. Just like the history books your kids get in school by the MacArthur Court. Whitewash. I got all history books. I got real history books showing you real stuff. Can't be debunked from nobody. You can be mad if you want to. That's why I say, man, I keep telling my people, I'm here. I'm here. All my people that's educators and got churches and black this and all that, like, I'm here. I won't be here long, but I'm here now. Few Americans are aware that many soldiers who fought during the American Revolution were black, and unlike the later, oh, hold on. I almost forgot about that one. I forgot I let them sit on. But later segregated regiments in Civil War, many of the units in the American Revolution were fully integrated, with black patriots fighting alongside by the fellow whites. Remember I told you all that about the free Negroes of Israel Hill, or the free Hebrews of Israel Hill? Research that history. Research the history. We'll start connecting it. A lot of stuff, it just ain't real, and our own people is to blame. When you get the One World Tartarians, if you want that, all y'all got to do is email me. I'll give it to you for a small donation. I'll send it to you for you can read it, for you can see, be like, and then you can ask your people, your brothers or your sisters, your aunties, your uncles, that's teachers, that history from a false narrative. It should be questioned. You should start questioning them. You will start seeing what happened. We lied to each other. But Americans knew this information in previous generations. So if Americans knew this in previous generations, how did they know? They said because of black scholars such as William Neal. How we gonna know today? Such as more scholars like who? Sheikh Khari Goodman Bey. That's coming and revealing it to you. All I'm doing is resurrecting things. That's why when I tell people, I said, afraid of what? Man, my brother was murdered by a Negro for nothing. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I seen a lot of my friends murdered, killed for nothing. Kids just killed each other this weekend for nothing. So when the person says, man, please, it's fear, never that. But we knew this. William Neal was an award-winning young scholar in Boston during the 1830s. During the 1830s, who studied law and became the first black American to hold a post in federal government. In 1852, he authored Services of Colored Americans in the War of 1776 and 1812. And 3 years later, he penned the Colored Patriots of the American Revolution. Especially for all my Moors, research Deuce Muhammad Ali. See what Deuce Muhammad Ali did. Deuce Muhammad Ali had his own newspaper, all that. You know our prophet was inspired by him. Come on. And then I can go deeper and show you who Deuce Muhammad and Abdul Hamid Solomon was inspired by. Them brothers knew each other. But despite such extensive works, many of our early black heroes and patriots are unknown today, and equally unknown is much of what occurred in black political history. That history will surprise and shock many, but it is a history based on indisputable facts and documents. You know, for example, while students in school early learned that the first load of slaves sailed up the James River in Virginia in 1619, and thus slaves were introduced to America, few learned about the first slave that arrived in Massachusetts colony set up by the Christian Pilgrims and Puritans. When the slave ships arrived in Massachusetts, the ship's officers were arrested and imprisoned, and kidnapped slaves were returned to Africa at the colony's expense. That side of history is untold as well. A similar omission occurred when the signers of the Declaration of Independence are discussed. If you ask to list the slave-owning founding fathers among the signers, no one would hesitate to name Thomas Jefferson. But if you ask to name a second slave owner among the 56, few other names would be mentioned. And if you ask to name the anti-slave leaders who signed the Declaration, probably no one would mention Samuel Adams or Stephen Hopkins or Benjamin Rush, Eldridge Geary or James William or John Adams, Roger Sherman, Benjamin Franklin, John Witherspoon, or the many other anti-slavery founders. To identify these individuals, you can research them, in different illustrations. I can show you on the next page, but we're not going to do that. Today, Black history too often is presented just from a Southern viewpoint. That's what the author's saying. Let me speed it up. Yet there was also what may be called a Northern viewpoint, with many praiseworthy events. And to be completely accurate in the telling of Black history, the story must be told not only for the martyrs, but also the heroes. Just was done by famous Black historians such as William Neal, Carter Woodson, Carter G. Woodson, Benjamin Quarles, Joseph Wilson, Booker T. Washington, Edward Johnson. One of the world's oldest history books, the Bible, offers a good lesson on the point and affirms the approach taken by these Black historians. Although the Bible story of David's victory over Goliath, yet the Bible also tells the story of David's adultery with Bathsheba and of his failure with his son Absalom. But it's so much history in this book, that I don't want to stay too far on. I just want to illuminate, brothers and sisters, so you can see things and you can read it for yourself. Or, with me, and I can get things to you. But that was just showing you what was the history. But there's some other things I'm gonna show you. But one of the books I can't break down because I'm on Facebook too. I might have to cut it off. They'll ban me. But I know I'm able to show it on YouTube. You see the young brother on the back of that? You see him with his headdress on? You see, just like you see a lot of my Moorish heads, this ain't a slave. See, they depicting and everything. They have put it in some city like Captain Morgan's or a Modelo Especial, but you don't really know what's going on because words have meaning and spells. You see the Moor on the back with his head, his chiefdom on. You see the young brother, right? On a horse. On a horse. You see him on a horse. I told y'all, man, I can show you history all in what was in Iran, all in the monuments. When I tell you, when people are like, well, you was this, yes, you were everywhere. I done did it in academia. I can show you all in Iran, the ancient. I can show you all old videos because everything was recorded. You got to remember, in a lot of times you had generals, right? Army generals. And when they was doing their things, they was recording things. Things was being recorded. Land was being marked, This is what people got to understand. That all that stuff was going on, in those times. So, yeah. Right on there. I don't want to talk about it, but because that'll take, I can go on and on. I want to show some things. Y'all see this? Y'all see these? Y'all ever seen these before? Anybody ever seen these books? When I tell people, man, I can take y'all to libraries. When people be saying things, a lot of these libraries and museums you have to go to. You have to go to these museums and stuff before you go, before you can learn, before you don't get caught up in no bull crap, before you don't get caught up in no dogma. This is all the stuff at the Jim Crow Museum. This is Jim Crow Museum stuff. You know what I mean? Where I'm gonna show y'all a couple pictures where when we be out here playing and we be on the internet doing stupid stuff, peace, Noble Brian, and we be out here playing and we be on the internet with all that cyber citizen stupid ass shit. Excuse my candor, I'm saying it like that. I got to, because people be acting like they don't know what I be saying, Brian. And when you be putting yourself out there, you be showing both hands. And then when they say, well, who you dealing with? Are you dealing with a real sheik? I know, where you getting this from? What does ID card mean stuff? You done put all that, people put that stuff out there, and then they be acting all stupid. And they think it means something. And you know it don't mean nothing. With all love and all respect. This is what I be saying why it's hard to work with our people. Because we won't clean ourselves up. We'll try to build on rebel. Brian, here go the book I told y'all. Remember the Negro Beast? Remember the book, the European Road, the Negro Beast? I done been to every museum, man. I did an academic. That's why I be laughing at my brothers and sisters. I be like, you have no idea what they look at you and think about you. See, this is the Jim Crow Museum. Y'all know where the Jim Crow Museum at? And then my brothers from the city, Michigan, the Jim Crow Museum ain't far. It reopened in 2012. Let me give you a little couple pictorial of this. This is why I be laughing at us. And when I say, dude, it's nothing hidden. You have to out here playing the game. When I say I'm gonna be gone in a minute, I mean it. Yes, numerous times. And people still be playing. And the only reason why I brought it back, because I was asked to, because I'm doing an election tomorrow. You know? And then, then I'm flying out. You know, I got my 30-year class reunion in a couple of weeks. But I got an event on my mom's side. Then I got a speaking in Detroit with some brothers. When I say, I know Moors from my city of Flint, them Negroes don't even look out. Why? Because they know I don't play. And they know I'm telling the truth. And they be a part of nothing. No disrespect to no one. Because if we were, people that be hitting me up, we'll be coming together. All my brothers from all different areas, we'll be doing something that's real. That's why I tell these people, a lot of these Moors, they think this is just internet games. We get left behind. This is what they think about you. This is the stuff. You see? Call that NIGGA milk. Yeah, I know. But all this gonna be over in a minute because we going private. I told y'all, once I'm just doing a lot of data, a lot of stuff gonna be chopped down just to little snippets. And we gonna keep the snippets out there. And ask people to come to class and do it the right way. I'm showing y'all things. The NIGGR milk cartoon was relative common through the 1920s. Above, the mammy objects are similar to the first one I purchased and destroyed. I mean, you ain't getting this nowhere else. How I know? Because I'm doing all my teachings is at European with Europeans. That's how I know. Each year, thousands of people visit the museum. Thousands. Let me show you what color. No group has been caricatured as often in as many ways as the African American. Look who up in the museums all day. Look who up in the museums. When I go to the Heard Museum out here, I've done this. When people be like, man, were you afraid of what? It's museums out here in Arizona. I'll take you to the Heard Museum and show you think the swastika is the swastika. Man, they stole that from Africa. I can show you how all over, all the indigenous people got their hair cut and was Europeanized. So going with the cap, it's in the museums. I'm trying to tell you, this is why I be laughing. We talk about coming together. We let some religion separate us. And then especially these brothers that say they Moors and they study Moorish science. And then when you ask them some questions, and you say that can't be Moorish science. And then when you ask them where they get it from, they won't even say. When you ask them where they get these cards and this ID from, they won't even say. You ask them, do it mean something? You see the Fugazi names on there, Auto Talks or Indian. We don't identify as no mess like that. We don't even supposed to be posting our ID on the internet. That's for your salvation. It's all here. It's all here for us. So I don't have to stay too far deep in it. It's all here when I show you. When people come from that perspective that don't want to show you real things and what was going on and what they thought about you, it was all here. I mean, I can't even show all the hangings and all that stuff because they'll probably try to, ban me like they did before. So they right here. I lecture these on YouTube, but I like to do these in private. So if I get all my people on private, nothing can happen. This book right here, you go on Amazon to see how much this book costs. When I first lectured this, I told everybody before what happened, I said, I'm going to be banned off Facebook for 30 days. So I said, I'll see y'all. I told everybody how much this book was at first, and I challenged everybody. I had so many copies of it. How? Because that's what I do. And I was offered from people. Nobody jumped on it. And now you go on Amazon, and then people be like, well, would you convert the book? I said I did, but I just don't feel like, distributing it. I just don't. When I tell people to do things you can have, you want these things. You want these things for yourself. Now the book costs $2 Who gonna buy this book for $2 And every time I show the books, the price of the books, when I do these demonstrations, I'm like, oh, these people on here, people ain't smart to hit each other up and put dollars together like my real college students do. We gonna let this stuff just walk away. I can't repeat myself over and over like somebody do. It's somebody that repeat themselves over and over and over because they be hustling you. I be thinking it's Alzheimer's or something, but I get what they doing. You see what I'm saying? It's in here. And I told everybody when I said, y'all need to get this before it go up astronomically. And what happened? It shot up from $25 all the way up to damn near $2. I told people the Melanin book, The Chemical Key to Black Greatness, that's already some stacks. It's getting ready to go up astronomically. How I know? Because I know. Every book that I showed y'all cost bands I got that I know that I was buying and print, and ain't none of my people jumped on and hit me up in the email. I said, that's the problem. We lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. I have value. I have a value. I mean, even when people be talking about this right here, I live this. This book ain't nothing. It's okay, but the real wisdom come from the Herbology from Home study. The real wisdoms and how to break things down, where people be worried about how somebody's selling something in a bottle for 150. I forget what my man called it. Somebody hit me up and asked me about that. I said, dude, don't ask me about nobody else's pocket, because if you're dealing with me, anything that got an ingredient, I can make it. You give me a love token, we keep it pushing. I ain't hating on nothing else. It ain't like that with me. And this is what I be telling people. It's like, dude, you lost because you don't know. When I show Herbology for Home study, trump anything that you can get. What you talking about, Sheik? It don't matter. It don't matter. And this is what I be trying to tell my brothers and sisters. This right here. Y'all see this right here? This right here is the Holy Grail. Anybody come on here talking a whole bunch of stuff, I be telling people this is the Holy Grail. They can come with they some guru, all they want to. They can come with all the love, oh man, or don't do this and don't do that, or do this and do that. I be like, man, I don't want to hear none of that crap you talk about. Because one, if you look like you just atrophying or you trying to fit in the dress, where your form at, where your muscle. It takes all these things, all that little stuff they be saying, and it sound good. This right here. And when you be seeing them little TikTok videos, people be talking about stuff, and they be like they Dr. CB sons, or you will see little TikTok videos, and they be saying the doctor from Honduras, him. Right here. Right here. So when they be coming, man, what they be saying, I be like, man, it ain't no gatekeeping here. I be trying to tell people about the wisdom and where it's at, and ain't nobody that's regularly gonna have something that I don't have, because I've been introduced to the wisdom, and I'm initiated, anointed, and consecrated, and educated, and I'm real. It's just gonna take me a longer to get some of the things that we was attracted to all them other figures for. Because the only reason why people was attracted to them, they only attracted to people that they think got money. Just like entertainment and stuff, that's pagan. So that's why people are attracted to things. That's how they get hustled. How? You see a person, they speaking the truth and they sound good, they doing lectures, then all of a sudden they got a whole bunch of different persuasion women and they in this type of life and then that and the other. But that's what people are attracted to. Or then they start saying they can teach you this class and look, I made this person this money. That's what they into. But when it comes to the real is right here in your face. We shouldn't have a problem with them not doing this. Should be supported. That's what I'll be telling my people. I said, I'm getting ready to be gone in a minute. I love what I'm doing. I love it. I love what I'm doing. But I tell people, you have to understand, we all these games should be over because no one's coming to you. No one's coming to save us. Even my move people, when I talk about economic power, when I talk about solutions, other people is doing it. Other people is taking these skills and giving me and giving me dollars and paying me for me to come speak. And they like, well, why are you still doing this and that and the other? Would you love to join the community? I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I did leave my cup, honey.
What cup? Which one?
Hey, my cup right there, boo.
Oh, yeah, you left your cup.
Woo.
But that's what I'll be saying. Like, it's so easy to talk about things and say we're going to talk about it, or like people march. And I tell people I'll never march. They be like, well, you got something against marching? Yeah. My brother was killed by somebody that looked like me. What march you going to do for me? Most of my friends in the city of Flint was killed by somebody that looked like us. What's up?
What?
So what are we marching for? But I talk about solutions and doing things, and we deal with people with speaking points. We just share things with speaking points, but why we don't share our brother? We share these speaking points, but like we see, this is what somebody be saying. And I'm not talking about nobody, I'm just saying, because my mufti making a good point. But we have somebody that's doing it. It's just like somebody sent me something. Somebody sent me something with like, you see these brothers Sheik, they trying to show people how to get land, they got shirts. You really do this. And this brother been following me for years. He was like, you see what this all about? He like, you right. I said, yeah, we only follow people when you think they got some money. And it's all fugazi. They can't show you nothing that's theirs. I can show you stuff that's mine. When I say mine, I mean ours. Excuse me. Didn't mean to say it like that. But I can show you things that's ours that we came together. And then the level when I'm talking about the tax dollars, nobody can do it. Like I can do it. Why? Because I'm transparent. And it's been done already. That's why I'm saying. That's why I know we into how can I say we into paganism. How? Because we our favorite rappers, celebrities, people that go see Usher on some skates and pay $500. I ain't going to see nobody on no skates. And I say I'm into wisdom, and here it is. My brother got books that cost thousands of dollars, and I don't even hit them up and get them. And then you go, this the excuse, man. Something hidden from us. How can something be hidden? And our brother is the one that's been revealing all the sciences, that got all the wisdom, that can reveal it and prove these things without a shadow of a doubt. So what we talk about? So if that's the case, we into paganism. And then when I ask people what we into, because I ain't got hustled by nobody that said they was gonna open up a school. I haven't. When I talk real, I would say we can't talk real. A lot of people that we share and we've been following, which a lot of people follow, it messes it up for the real people that do it in real life, like myself and others. That's asking for the people help, and the people help can get us and get to the movement right where it needs to be, and we can really do some real. It's diminished the movements, and we can't talk about that. Because there's some individuals that's doing it for real. I've been here through all the mist, through all when the fake COVID came and all the fake gurus. I sat and watched all the fakeness, all the fugatis. Everybody saying they can ID you cars. I was like, everybody talk about they having these meetings coming together. They the new Wall Street. Everybody talk about they Bitcoin. Somebody that can nationalize you. I seen all that still 10 toes down in the midst of that. You know, still strong in it. Told everybody what's going to happen. And look, and still here. No smell on my name. Can't nobody say that. And I've been through academia. And I have a full library. So when people be coming from angles, I say, I know your angle. What angle you gonna come from? I've already done this. That's why I say the work has been done. The work has been done. Man, the work has been done, so I'm going to do this in my free time. I'm gonna share it with the people, but it's people that know me, it's people that connected to me, it's people that profess that they Moors. You can't sit up here and tell me you not, because I'll be on your page. Anybody that come on my page, I'm on your page like you on mine. Why? Because I have the right to. And I got a brother that know how to do all the IT work. I call him the real big brother. He'll fix any computer. He'll be on there. He'll open your computer. Boom, boom, boom. So I know everything, and I know how people been following me when I be seeing people handles. Because a lot of their names don't be who they are on Facebook. A lot of these people be knowing me and been following me for years. So why you don't come to class? Am I saying something wrong? I can be, because you done been here more than once. You done been here more than twice. You done been here more than 3 times. You done been here more than 4 times. Been here more than 5 times. Especially those people that know me. All you got to do is ask anybody that come on my page, do you know me, Nobles, and how long they been following me. We got the right to do that. And then ask them, why don't they come to class? We're not saying that from no disrespectful place or no hate. We just asking. We just doing a survey. We just doing a survey for you can see what I'm saying. You be like, damn, Sheik, you right. I had a brother that would follow me. He like, well, yeah, man, you know, I'm just saying it because it don't make no sense. Don't matter to me. Y'all be rock with Taj Tariq Bey, but I've been following you forever, Sheik. And then this Negro in jail. Like that don't even make, that's an oxymoron. I be telling people what's gonna happen. I stand 10 toes down. With what? With love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. That's what. And it ain't for sale. That's why I tell people, a workman is due his hire. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. But when brothers be acting like they don't know, and I ask my muftis that when we see people on my page, ask them and see what they say. I guarantee you, years. And if people been following me for years, I've been saying the same thing. So how don't we know? Especially when I talk about nation building, and when people say they Moors and they got all this Moorish stuff on their page, and then when I say, well, what's Moorish about you? Because not just putting a whole bunch of pictures on Instagram with pictures and stuff, and old pictures and sayings of Noble Drew Ali, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. I mean, that's good. That's a form of demonstration, but is it real? Are you seeking someone out? Is you seeking wisdom? Is you seeking somebody? Then especially people be knowing who it is. Especially these people be knowing me. Are you seeking a map and a guide out? If you say you Moorish, where you studying at? Do you know your Moorish Quran? Do you know the 101s back and forth? Do you know your divine creed and proclamation? Do you know the basics? Do you? Oh man, what you mean? You trying to be? No, I'm asking you. And then that's what happens with people do. They get mad when somebody asks them something. Most of these people talk about, yeah, they study Noble Drew Ali. I bet you they don't have the Moorish Quran. I bet you. Ask them. Ask them, do they got the Moorish Quran? Ask anybody that's on my page that say they're Moor. You can go on their page, Instagram, they got more stuff on there. Ask them, do they got the Moorish Quran? Because if they do, if they say they got the Moorish Quran, and then a lot of the stuff they be posting on their page that's disrespectful, clearly they don't have the Moorish Quran. Because they ain't studying it. Clearly they don't. And if they do have the Moorish Quran, it's only could be 2 things. You either confused on language, or you what? Clearly got a motive. Or you acting like, no disrespect, a religious Muslim. Are you Sunni Muslim, or are you Al-Islam? Or are you a Nation of Islam? Because them brothers, they just go with the lessons from fire. They don't study the Quran per se. A lot of the new ones. And you can't be mad at what I'm saying. And then a lot of people be talking about Moors, Muslims. No, you off. You totally off. That's why I be waiting for them brothers to come with that Islam stuff. And I'm like, you're going to get a great education. Even brother with the Hebrew stuff, you're going to get a great education. Because we all should. But when I talk about our brothers and sisters that'll just sit on the fence and be a lotterer and say they Moorish, well, it's some things we do when we Moorish. People be seeing me and be like, oh, Sheik this. Or how do you think we going to have something that lasts? I know people from my city of Flint ain't never been to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Probably will never go. Why? Because that's just how things are. When things are not ran the right way. That's why we created the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in school. That's why I be transparent. I show everybody my paperwork from the temple. I say, okay, I'm not going to let nobody play semantics with you and me because they tried to play semantics with me. I just don't play that. And I have a father. And you're dealing with supreme wisdom. When I come, you're going to have to sit down because I'm bringing my table and my chair at all times. Point blank, I don't care about no old sayings. I don't care about what you're saying. If I see the stuff that you're saying is fugazi, and the people that's trying to be around me is fugazi, I can't be around that. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. So once again, This is what I be saying when I be having these conversations and I be live and I be asking people any questions. Nobody have no questions. You go on these people page, they saying some of the most outlandish stuff ever, and they just got off my page. The first thing they talk about, the Bible is some white man. How? All this stuff I'm explaining, you resort right back to the Bible is the white man stuff. But then in the same voice say you and more, and then say you follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. How? I like explain it. And then in the same breath, you say you a Muslim. And I say, well, what type of Muslim you are? Or you say Muslim, and then I know how that game is played, but in all actuality, you can't, why you not willing to learn? Why are you willing to play a game, a religious game that you don't know? You see? People won't say where they got all that stuff from. Because I know where every brother got their stuff from once they open their mouth. I done been around older people, middle-aged people. I know where that stuff came from. I know where it came from. You know where it came from. It came from that conscious community place. Y'all know it. I know it. See, people can sit up here and play stupid games all they want to. But Europeans been talking about Noble Drew Ali before it got even popular on the internet. From Peter Moon to Peter Salmon, all these people. Peter Moon used to lecture at GCU. The Moorish Science Temple was in Flint ever since we was little kids. But so when people get on the internet and then won't be honest of how they mixing this with that, and I said that ain't Moorish science. I said, where you getting that from? Oh, so this was Sheik said this on the internet. What Sheik? That's their own made up stuff. That's their own. We got a divine creed. We got a proclamation and a declaration. It tells us to fall in line on certain things. If not, it's not more science. It's your own thing you made up. And then you don't clearly have no understanding. You can't be teaching civics and law if you're not educated in these fashions. You just, oh man, well, it's popular. Oh, I got black laws. Well, you got black laws? I got black laws line 1, 2, 3, 4. So what? Whoop the damn dude. You got a book with some terms in them. Oh, I got black laws volume 4. And I got black laws volume 1 all through 10. Now what? Now what? We don't want to have no dialogue. We want to take this crap, and I ask people, where you getting it from? They won't say. I say, where you getting this from that say you think you can drive around with all this and use some sovereign citizens to oxymoron? Where you getting it from? Where you getting it from that you can squat in the house and then you in Florida and I tell you squatters have no rights and you say, damn, Sheik, for real, you 100% right. No stuff. Where you getting this stuff? Somebody told you to expatriate from this de facto government, and then I tell you, why would you do that? You would be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. Why would you do that? And you won't say where you got it from. Why? Why, when you say you finna cancel corporate debt and all this, and I say what corporate debt you got, and you don't have none, and you won't tell me where you got it from? Why do we do that? You tell me. Why, when you go on the internet and say, oh, man, I follow my nationality with somebody or some woman or some Negro you met on the internet, and I tell you can't no man or woman nationalize you or denationalize you? That'll change you from the descendant nature of your foremothers and forefathers. Now, where you get that from? Now, when you get that from somebody on the internet talk about they some Sheik and they can nationalize you, only thing they can do is give you an ID for their club. And if they ain't no school and no real teaching like we are established with our charter and all that, or fraternal brotherhood, then that's all it is. And you might as well make your own. So why would you fall in line of that for a group of brothers, especially if they Freemasons? Especially if they Freemasons, I told y'all. I'm always give the keys. You're dealing with the Rose and Cross. You're dealing with 99 degrees. We're not dealing with no sacredness. We're not dealing with nothing that'll put our brothers back in slavery. I told y'all. It's more than just some signs and symbols. It's actions. I just broke this down yesterday. How? Didn't our prophet say your people will what? Put you back in slavery? Actions by a group of people saying that they making you some nationally, some ID cards and all this on the fallacy of you think that's what it is, and they release it's not what it is. That's fraud. That's what I'm telling you. And you under the pretense of thinking it's some different than what you think it is. And why do you think that? It's what your brother's saying. So when brothers be posting this stuff on their social media, because if they say they ain't, I'm going to tell you, you lied, ain't no truth in you. Why? Because I've seen it already. I told y'all. How I know? The same way the police do. They got the internet task force. The same way I know. So when people be posting this stuff with autotoxin, all this stuff, our prophet ain't used that language. See? So I'll be wanting to have dialogue. I got a couple more minutes and I'm out of here. I'll be wanting to have a little dialogue. And brothers be quiet in the church mouse. And then they go resort right to a whole bunch of them videos. When the so-called Coco was, what videos was y'all watching? Who was y'all watching? People won't even say nothing. I'll be like, you see, that's fake. And that's why I said that's fake. I said, oh, so doing the Coco before y'all met me, what? Before y'all met me, who were y'all watching? What videos was y'all watching? Who was y'all watching? And where are all them people at now? Where are all them people at now? Nobody won't say nothing. Where you getting all this squatting in houses from when all that was popular? Oh, you can squat in houses. Where y'all getting all that drive without a license from? Who was telling you to do that and they ain't doing it? Who telling you to cancel corporate debt? Who telling you this note is something you can take to the bank and cash this? Who telling you that they some officers or some Sharifian officers? Where y'all getting it from? And nobody won't say nothing. Like, this is stupid. Somebody talking about they some damn Moroccan general here in the United States. Another nigga talking about they the president of Morocco. I done seen some of the most outlandish, stupidest stuff. I done seen niggas talk about they taking people to Moorish court or Hebrew court. I'm like, what the heezy is you talking about? I don't be, it be blowing my mind. I'll be like this, I'll be like, oh, so this is just a game. I said, this is a game, and y'all playing a game that can get you locked up, get your freedom took. It already happened to them one Moors. Who? Them one Moors that was on the highway that came with the whole fake thing, and people act like that's, oh, so you can't talk about it. You should, because everybody was talking about it when it was all hot. Everybody like, look, they fighting for our life. I said they getting ready to go to jail. What you mean, she? I said, dude, I know military strategy. I know about all this. I ain't no fool. You shouldn't be no fool either. Anybody that's a general lead, anybody, it's some checks and balances before you go on the road. And one, you ain't pull it. Some stuff, it don't even make sense. It's a setup. And when you see who locked up, these people went on TV and told, you can't talk about this. One of the brothers went on TV. He said he make $250,000 a year. Said he drive trucks. He told everything. What? In a fake Moroccan court. In somebody's basement that smell like mothballs. And when I be saying that, I be belligerent like that because that's just what happened. And what the Internet Task Force doing, it's a certain police force. They call it the Internet Task Force. They just sitting there chilling. And then they use it against you in a court of law. Just like I can show you all their names. It's a whole bunch of police on the internet that use the Moorish handles, and a lot of Negroes follow. That's why I said, put that stupid stuff on the internet if you want to, and it's going to be used against you in a court of law. Think it's a joke. Ask Big U now. Who is Big U? Research it. You know them old school gangsters that thought they was gangsters, they can do all that stuff on the internet and all that, and them Negroes went to prison for opening their mouth. RICO law. The same way what happened to these sovereign citizens. Same thing what happened back in the day when the Europeans was doing it. When I tell you all about Roger Elving and the Paradigm Group. Ain't no different. And don't nobody want to talk about it. And then when you think about it, you'll be like, well, wait a minute, well, how these older people still out here promulgating this shit stuff and you done illuminated? Ding, ding, that should tell you something, shouldn't it? That should tell you something. Be like, what? Somebody ain't right. I mean, what? It ain't no magical paperwork you can get out of court with and say, oh man, this is a magic Morse paper. That's what I be telling people, talk to me. I be seeing Negroes riding around with a backpack full of paper. With this is my drive. Man, I drive, this is my stack of papers. You know, when the police pull me, oh, he knows something. What do you know? After all that driving, after you do all that, tell me, what is it doing for you? And then be proud. If you get away, great. If you don't, then what? But at the end of the day, when you laying it all together and looking at it and laying it on the platter, what are they doing for the community? And I ask you, would you want your son to be doing that? Your daughter? Or are you going to teach your son or your daughter that? Would you teach your son or daughter that crap? Hell no. Hell no, you wouldn't.
Can you see me if I move?
No. I won't. Just stay over there. But you should, just for your safety, for your safety. Stay over there.
Oh, I'm talking about over here. No.
I don't know.
The last time.
Yeah. But yeah. What do you say? I got 20 more minutes. Yeah. But like I said, man, I got some new stuff getting ready to pop off with my moderator, man, and we're gonna be chopping some stuff up. We're gonna be off this for a while, taking a lot of this and taking it to the next level. But I know Moore's not gonna say nothing. And it's okay, Like I said, it's okay. But if you're on my Facebook page, I'm about to log off, so join on my YouTube channel because this phone about to die. So if you're on my Facebook, pop on YouTube. Peace. But I'll wait to see if anybody want to say something because they won't. Because a lot of our brothers has been programmed. You know, a lot of our brothers has been programmed, and they won't tell the truth. They won't stand on it. And so what happens? We continue to push false history. We continue to push bullcrap. You know, because I know where it come from. A lot of brothers not gonna say it. I know where the average brother right now, where they got all that misunderstanding from, and nobody and they won't say it, and that's how a lot of people continue to get caught up. You know, and that's how these brothers and sisters continue to resurface. But if I was the brother that said, "Hey man, I got 400 acres and raise money," and then I get some fake tool sheds and do ribbon cutting, and then what if 400 acres? I know the family, the European man, the husband, the older family that own it. If I was the person said I'm finna open up a school and do all this and didn't do it. So I don't know what people be saying. I don't. All I'm talking about, the proof is in the pudding. So when it comes down to what's coming down and we can help people to not run in the burning house per se, or not jump in the boat where it's all leaking, we won't even say nothing. We won't even say nothing. We'll just tuck our head down and go. And then when somebody get in trouble, what we'll be looking at, we'll be like, well, see what happened to such and such? But I'll be like, but it happened to you. But I'll be like, well, it happened to you, and you ain't even helped the person, you ain't even saved them. You know? That's what I be saying, asking my people. I said, how will we been going through some or been in similar situations and won't say nothing? And the first thing we'll say, oh, we can't say that. That's our elder. It ain't my elder. Ain't nobody my elder. But my dad, I give respect where respect is due. But just because you older don't mean nothing. And you won't sincerely be like, you know what? I might have been wrong. Based off the information, you wrong. And you can't keep making excuses that people took your words out of context. That can't be it. Because these demonstrations, I have them all. I have these demonstrations where these people said that they were the Moors conflict and they nationalizing people, and then everybody act like that ain't happening. I said, man, y'all need to stop that, man. You know? I'm like, we need to stop that. We know where all this stuff came from, and we can't even sit down and have a round table with wisdom, especially Moors, and say, wait a minute, man. And then Moors think they can get some magic piece of paper from somebody that they met on the internet, and it's going to change your whole life. And magically, boom. Moors be losing their job, losing everything for some stuff you got off the internet. And we can't even talk about it. And this is what happens. And I've been warning y'all Moors for years. And grown men still fall down this trap. Grown women still fall down this trap because they think they can become a Moor. Like it's a membership. And when you become a Moor, you're getting ready to magically not have to pay bills. You're going to magically, everything you had, you can file some paperwork or find some paperwork to reverse this, or the government or you this, or your Social Security is attached to some millions and these bums don't have no millions. Or this your land and you squatting in houses. All this criminal behavior, people teaching you how to do criminal behavior, and our prophet never done no stuff like this. Never. And if anybody teaching anybody stuff like this, that's not more science. It's just not. It's not even uprightness. It's not even honorable. Any of that stuff is not even honorable. I'll just say you doing some Roger Elvick, European, Albion, Trelodike militia. I want to overthrow the government. You going straight to jail, don't pass go stuff to your own people. And that's messed up. That's bold as hell. Because a bunch of people, since 2020, it's been popular for you to be a paper terrorist. That's what's been popular with most of these Moors. They done turned to fascist groups. I call them paper terrorists. And when these goofy Negroes talk about they want to expatriate from the de facto government, and then they act like they don't know what I'm talking about. I done heard all these Moors, yeah man, we want to expatriate from the de facto government. I say anybody that's telling you that stuff, you need to run from them. And you need to look at them like they trying to get you locked up, because they are trying to expatriate from some de facto government. And then what? When you lose your allegiance to the United States of America, then what? You don't have no dual citizenship. So what the hell you gonna expatriate from the de facto government for? I'll wait. Tell me why. And the prophet done told you an American, and I done told you everything, the freedom, the religious laws, and you still playing the game. You still want to join some out. You want to join some black slave stuff. And this is what I be telling y'all. You still ain't listening. Anything that got black on it, you gonna revert back to a slave. And I'm bringing you the keys. I done brought the keys, and people still not catching what I'm saying. And somebody gonna tell you you want to expatriate from the de facto government, and these Negroes be having meetings with this, signing paper. I want to expatriate from the de facto government. Oh, what do that mean? So who you have allegiance with? Stupid. Who do you have allegiance with? Who do you have allegiance with? When you say you're getting ready to expatriate from the de facto government, that's some of the most stupidest stuff today that people say and run with it. And you let somebody that just boom get the spilling off stuff at the mouth to do that, and you ask them have they done it, and you show and see and tell them to show you them recording them doing all that process. They ain't did none of the stuff. You ain't thought about that. Somebody always sitting on the internet telling you, hey, you can do this and you can do this, and all on TikTok. Who? All of them. All you gotta do is Google it. Google it on TikTok. More is on TikTok talking about credit or this, or your birth certificate attached to this. It's a whole bunch of them fools. I'm saying it just like that because ain't nobody rich. That's why it's stupid. Ain't nobody rich. Ain't nobody done none of that stuff. Or you can take this and reverse this and get this. Dang, you ain't got that. That's cap. That's cap. A green screen don't mean nothing. AI don't mean AI is fake. The background is fake too. All that stuff, it ain't real. All that stuff on TikTok, all that stuff, none of that stuff real. What they've done, allow people to catch a ring of what? Criminals, and get you caught up in a RICO law. That's all this is. Y'all don't understand this? What I've been telling y'all, I've been saying this for years. The internet can get you wisdom or it can get you in trouble. Pick your poison. Like my Noble Malik say, pick your struggle. Pick your struggle because it's there for you. And if you get your understanding from a person that won't look at you in the face like I will do and tell you, like I do, and say, hey man, I'm a map and a guide. I'm always gonna be sincere. I'm an educator and I'm a teacher. And I've been through the wisdom. And I'm anointed and consecrated and initiated. I don't have no motive, but I do have an organization that's tax exempt for the federal government. We are a fraternal order. We do have a charter and we do operate off donations. You know, I have a library. We do have businesses where we sell regalia and religious regalia. And I do ask my brothers and sisters to support our organizations. I do. I want you to. But still, when I say this, nobody will open their mouth. They be sitting with I don't want to say nothing. Oh, see, and that's messed up. So then the next person get caught up that might be sincere, that might be ambitious. It might be an empress or it might be a young noble, and then they get caught up with that crap. And then you be like, damn, he going through the same stuff I went through with them, with this and that. The same thing gonna happen to him as it happened to me, and you won't even say it about the young man life or the young woman life because you afraid. And what you afraid of? Because ain't no white man doing nothing to you in our movement. It's only Negroes that's confusing you. It's only Negroes that's making videos, oh, we squatting houses and we don't got to obey by the laws that somebody else do. And this my land. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Where y'all think all these people at? All this doing the 2012, what was that, Empress? 2022, doing the COVID when everybody was off work and everybody watching old videos. Where all these people at? They had to reinvent themselves. They all been proven a sham. All of them that say they got land. All of them say they can get your house and all this. Some of them just took Ozempic and got skinny, and now they got big ass heads. And they be taking, and who always doing an interview in a jet? Who got access to a jet in a hangar every time you do an interview? Y'all don't know props when you see one? I'll tell you where the prop at, but I don't want to be exposed people because we can't be that stupid. We can't be that stupid. They always trying to throw a life at you. And the reason why you ain't successful, because you ain't doing that. Man, that come from the book Influencer. I give stuff. When I tell my brothers to read certain things and I give it to them, I said, this will keep you alive. This will keep you alive. Why? Because when this energy come at you, you will be protected. How? You will know how to stand up. You will know how to stand strong on your square. So when them fake Negroes be coming with them gurus or them pyramid or Ponzi scheme Negroes, you will come right back with them. With what? The defense. Bow, 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 bow. Why? Because the script. I keep telling people, it's a script. I'm telling people, get mad what I know. Man, all them Negroes come, they all went to the Jay Morrison school. Now, you mad at me? I don't give a damn. Can't nobody do nothing to me. That's why I'm telling you. I done been through the fire. I live like a dead man. Negroes killed my brother. That shit, excuse my candor, is an old playbook. All them brothers. Why? Because they put it out there on the internet. They all put it out on the internet when they get upset and when they get angry. And they'll tell on themselves. They'll show both hands. How? Because all this stuff was sent to me. I know people in Atlanta. I know people here that's Muslims. I know church people and all this. They were like, Sheik, the brother here in the church now. And the pastor he went to with the shiggity too. And they said, this Negro gonna do the first sermon. And it's like a PowerPoint presentation of trying to get people in the house market. I said, see, you ain't got to tell me this. Why? Because it's been given to me. You can look it up. So this ain't me telling you nothing. This is for the public. These people put this stuff out there and then try to say, don't talk about me, Empress. That's crazy. And then these people are still in the community, but we can't talk about it. Because they ain't hustling no European, they ain't hustling no Albion, they hustling who? You. And they going from this place to this place. And then our people are allowing it. That's what I'm saying. So if all this stuff is not real, and if you a moron here, you got this fake ass ID, and you say, oh, this is some Moorish ID, where you getting it from? I bet you somebody you met made that shit from you. Because you ain't come from no Moorish Zion Temple of America. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. For anybody on here that got an ID that look like some Moorish stuff or some or say this they Moorish American ID or say this they Moorish travel ID, I bet it ain't from no Moorish Zion Temple of America. I bet you it ain't. I bet you it ain't. I bet you're from somebody you met on the internet and they made it. I bet you. I bet money. Because I go get my ID from the temple, which I've done a plethora of times, and show you. I say, I bet you don't look like this. And then if you say you a sheik, I bet you don't have the paperwork that I have. Will tell us what we teach and all this. So who anointed you this? It's just like if I say I got to do a master's degree and you be like, well, where? Somebody had to anoint it, and then my wisdom and my understanding have to put me there too, because that have to go along with it. Or unless you just a reciter instead of a reader and an understander. You see? And nobody can deny what I'm saying. That's why I created my own temple in school. Why? Because a lot of them brothers in the temples didn't know a tittle of the wisdom that I was introduced to and what I'm still introduced to. A lot of them brothers wasn't educated. A lot of them brothers was straight out of prison. I ain't saying nothing wrong with it. A lot of them brothers is paper pushers. What? I call them paper terrorists. Negroes that's coming together talking about a whole bunch of stupid ass paperwork. You're trying to file paperwork. You're going to go to jail. In certain states, you got right to work states. And this more science is poor science. Most of these niggas is poor. Excuse my candor. That's what I'm saying. And this ain't no conscious community stuff. If we gonna do a community, then I got the blueprint. I've been saying it forever. How? We got to use our tax dollars. What? To do everything we want. And I'm right here. The problem is we don't know how to stand with our brother because we don't love ourselves. And then I'm going to have to do the work with other people and the small brothers that I deal with, my muftis. And I've been telling y'all for a long time. We got to use what I'm saying to do it. We got to stop showing videos of other people saying this is that, but they ain't taking it to the level that I know, that I understand why, because I've been introduced to something. That's why I'm telling y'all. I have something extra. I have something especial that I can bring to our people, and we can't be stopped. This is what I'm telling us from love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. So when brothers be talking at more science stuff, and I be like, dude, I have a temple in school. You can learn this the right way. You can get a flush and fill and reboot your hard drive. Rip all that stupid ass idea up that you done got from somebody, and you done boast and brag, and you done posted that shit on the internet. Get rid of that shit. It don't mean nothing. It ain't gonna replace nothing. A whole bunch of paperwork somebody printed, copied, and pasted. Them seals don't mean nothing. Them seals that come from Morocco, that shit came from Office Max or Staples. Now, if you come on here talking stupid, I'm gonna show you. We gotta be honest with each other today. We gotta be straight up. Ain't nobody over here no consulate general of Morocco. Ain't nobody over here no president of Morocco. That's straight up cap. And you shouldn't be telling your information to no Negro to talk about no Moorish court in somebody's stupid ass basement. I'm telling y'all. And if you mad what I'm saying, that means you just stupid. And it ain't nothing else to say about it. Any questions? I bet you ain't nobody gonna have no questions when I be saying this. And when I do my dissertation with the Islamic, when the history of the Islamic language and where all this stuff come from, and it's all Judeo-Christian, it ain't nothing else nobody can say. And when I show you Hadith, and when I show you the House of Wisdom, and all those books, they were just transferred to Islamic or Arabic, other writings, and these are just facts. And when you be mad, you can be mad. You can't be out here promulgating something and it was not. You can't be out here saying, yeah, we Moors, we Muslims. No, we not. What type of Muslim? Or then we Muslim. Or then what you mean? What type of Muslim? Are you playing the acronym? Because I know what the acronym mean. But what? Because I ain't Muslim. I don't promulgate that. You know? I ain't saying I'm okay with names, but that ain't the science that you may think that ain't what I'm under. I don't operate with nothing outside of myself. You're going to have to have a conversation with me. Just like I understand where when people be doing things, it's like when you making a point, when I say, well, what was God named in Aramaic? Well, Allah. When I talk about other ancient things in the house of wisdom and surah and hadath or hadith, when you see where all this stuff come from, and you see the Nabatean alphabet, and when you remove your anger and you remove your feelings, you'll be like, okay, well, I'm being educated. Because you should want to be educated by your brother. You should want to promulgate something and you think it's yours and it's not yours and it ain't so-called African. I'm saying it just like that. It ain't your African culture. I'm telling you what I know because most people don't have their African culture. I'm giving your culture back. I'm telling my brothers and sisters, I'm giving your culture back. How? Your culture in the Bible? You can't let nobody call you all the Hebrew Israelites. When I show you in the Bible, well, who was these people that they killed the Chaldeans in Canaanite land? Who are these group of people that was culture? You can't even fathom what I'm saying. You can't even fathom all the other people I can show you in the biblical scriptures. And when you come with that science and when you come with that false knowledge, you have to bow down to supreme wisdom. And when I say bow down, I don't mean it in no disrespect. I mean it in the way to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying it just like that. I'm saying it just like that. What? You don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what you're talking about, and you can't come with no facts. And when I come with the facts and the wisdom, and when I come with the ancient tablets, it's nothing nobody can say. It's nothing nobody can say. Because a lot of our elders already have the tablets. A lot of them not saying nothing. Some of them are gone. Some of them twisted. Some of them won't say nothing about it. I give y'all a little plethora like this, because since I'm having a good time, can I go a couple more minutes, Empress? Is something in the oven?
Not yet.
Well, because I can't wait. But anyway, let me give you a little wisdom. Let me break a little down because I know people don't, they keep their lips shut when I be talking. I be knowing what people angles because I know how you talk. So during the conscious community time, when a certain individual was out and he was the big, conscious community, he was talking about the Zodiacus, the elder I was, the Bay dude. But I'm talking about the other dude when he was saying he can nationalize you and doing all that stuff, right? Right? So, y'all know who I'm talking about. He in jail now for whatever, messing with the little girl or whatever it may be. When everybody be saying, "Oh, money is God," okay, whatever. I can show you some other wisdom. It's a lot of ancient wisdom too. When I talk about Florence Scovel, when Wallow got out of prison, he was talking about the secret wisdom. It's a lot of stuff that I've been working with, but I understand it's just when I deal with the mind and it's putting things in play and living everything that you dream and see and actually doing it. And it's a lot of stuff from Florence Scovel, but really it's more science. And it's power of the spoken word and some other wisdom that I already know is more science. And I try to share this with my muftis. I'm telling you, I'm a map and a guide. I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to be gone in a minute. I have to be. I don't want to be. I'm telling my people, we can build something. That's why I say this is a work in progress. We can build something. And it can be universal. Just like when I told y'all the museum, and I said the scholars live in the museum, and people didn't catch it, and now I think you catching it because all this stuff come from the museum of Alexander. It's some stuff I showed my muftis in the text stream. Remember I showed that the land of Surah, all those ancient libraries, or y'all didn't, and see, and a lot of my muftis, it's a lot of stuff that y'all didn't get. Like, it's a lot of stuff that y'all didn't get, like the hidden origins of Islam. What I put in the text stream, I'll show y'all how to get it. This stuff be right here. And like the House of Wisdom, how the Arabic science saved ancient knowledge and how they took everything and transferred it to Arabic. But back to what I'm saying, because I got a little bit more time. These brothers know damn well, just like the brother that was debating, everybody made him popular on the Conscious Community channel, when everybody used to be watching the Sonetta channel. So everybody give credit to Dr. York with about the tablets and the wisdom, no matter what he done. But see, them brothers won't tell you that they were students of Dr. York. Even when his name come up, they get a man wisdom. They get a man credit. Why? Because of his wisdom. And if anybody come with the garbage, I start coming from Russia and coming and show you how a lot of Russians hold a lot of his documents up as powerful. Because the science and the wisdom is there. He did have something special, and he was introduced to some wisdom the same way I was. The same way when I be telling you any figure that could come with something, they got some special, like some fell down out of heaven in the middle of the night. Boy, I start coming with the lexicon and destroy that with all love. Show you its Nabatean history. And when people be coming, what happened is when they smartness will overcome them. And then they say, I'm so smart, shit, boom, I'm going to transform to this. And it's a metamorphosis. How? Because that's what happens. How? When you get introduced to something and a little bit of pick, and you think those connections can get you there, oh shit, that's power. I got it. Now you see, I got to use this. Y'all don't remember when he had met Busta Rhymes, and Busta Rhymes was glorifying him? Now, what Busta Rhymes glorifying this man for? Tell me why. Busta Rhymes glorifying because he got a whole bunch of women around him. Whatever, he wasn't glorifying him for nothing else. He wasn't glorifying him for all. He saved people because these people say, oh man, I do this internet. I can take $100 and make 100,000, or I can take this. All these things with all this stuff. How these people metamorphed into these things, and all of a sudden they special in this. And then you start seeing these people just in hotels and just doing this and doing that. But we're the students. It's all a Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme. It's an old Jedi mind trick because that's what they do. It's called influencer, and you can't be mad at me. And these people were students of Dr. York. See, this is what I know. You can be mad at me all you want to. When you have a level of wisdom, and understanding and power, you can go there. And that's why my mom, my dad, even when I talked to my Empress, I said, Empress, when you got power and when you know how gullible our people are, if your heart not right, you can prey on your people. But I'm not a predator. I got so many emails during the COVID, Negroes wanted me to nationalize them and denationalize them. I'm talking about 500 a wop, 300 a wop. She, would you nationalize me? I'm telling my Empress doing the math. I said, this 300 people. I said, Empress, do you know how much money this is? She's like, don't do that. I said, I never do. I'm telling you, this is how gullible people are. I'm emailing people back. Like, why would you do this? I said, you're going to find what you're looking for. Somebody going to get you. I know Empresses, all that. They got sham. That's why I'm telling you. So when he come, I'm like, these people are younger than me. I'm getting ready to be 48. So when you look at these people's ages, they're younger than me. So you know I got to know. And I've been introduced to the wisdom. That's why I be looking at people like, man, stop the cap. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. What? Stop the cap. I've been introduced to the wisdom. You gotta understand that when I say some things, you should know, like, oh, okay, he knows something. Because when the European do it, they know. They don't research it. It's like, come on, we don't. I say, dude, this is a Jedi mind trick. Even when I went to Vegas, the brother was like, why be in Vegas? Zoom, zoom, zoom. I know the game. I can show you the videos they watch of Europeans saying that they're going to hustle everything. I can show you the books that they read, hours of studying an influencer. And then the wisdom when you listen to it, once you pick it up, well, people can't pick it up because they're not in tune to that and they don't hear it. You just caught on his chivalry and on his use of words, of how he can easily use words, and that's a skill as well too. I know a lot of guys got out of prison that do that because they read a lot of dictionaries. Down mean they believe nothing. But I'm telling you what I know is that the brother was under Dr. York. I know this, and I know the brother got the tablets the same way I do. That's why I said I'd be transparent. It ain't nothing she can hide with me because I'm a teacher. And if I'm teaching, if I'm a sensei and I got real students, I'm going to teach them everything. I want them to be greater than I. But a workman is due his hire. Can't nobody give you what I can give you. I know this for a fact. Because everybody going to say this is better than that. No, man, you're dealing with a grandmaster. I'm going to say all that is good. And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to give you an analogy. I'm going to give you wisdom how to what? Prepare. How to be good in heart. How to use your inner strength. How to be a warrior in the garden. Instead of a gardener in the war. Understanding all these things, that's how I know this. That's how I can stand strong. And when I see these fake dudes talk about they dealing with the stock market or Bitcoin and all that, I know you lying. I know it for a fact. Why? Because I do this in real freaking life. When you say you got this land and you fake it and you saying this, I know you lying. Why? Because we do it in real life. So when people don't know and they be talking all this stuff over your head, come to me. I'll give it to you. I'll tell you exactly their angle. I told you when these Negroes be coming with this alien Anunnaki, their angle is a European named Zachariah Stinson, and we'll destroy that in 1.2 seconds. Because I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. Those brothers, my little brothers. No disrespect. I'm telling you, if they was in the flesh, they wouldn't say nothing. I'm telling you real facts, and it ain't no disrespect. Albert Churchwater tell you this. I'm telling people with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So with that being said, I give y'all honor, I give y'all love, I give y'all gratitude. And you remember, no one that's going to reach a level of success, Empress, with money and talking to the people in the conscious community is no straight plum food. Because everybody has tried to reach that that plateau in the conscious community. That's what all of it was about. You know, that's what it was all about. You know, everybody was trying to money grab, and it was a specific brother that was canny enough, that was smart enough, that knew more than the average bear, that was introduced to something and had the persona and took it to that next level. And I'm telling you, it was all a sham. Absalom, brother, you know me. If that's the Absalom I know. If that's the Absalom, I think that's from Flint, Michigan. That's Nathaniel, brother, that went to school with me. Brother Absalom, I think you know me. If I'm not mistaken, if that's you. You know how to get in contact with me. Hit me up on Instagram, man. My number, all you got to do is subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel. But I'll be sharing my number. I'll be sharing my information with everybody. And everybody know how to get with me. I say the same thing over and over. Brothers, get with me. Share it. Don't get caught up in no feelings. Oh, okay. Okay, my bad, Absalom. My bad. I don't know, but I know it's an Absalom from Flint, Michigan. That's Nathaniel, brother. It's an Absalom. But I might be wrong. But this is what I'm telling people. And people don't want to give people their flowers. A lot of our elders, yeah, they might have been accused from things, but we can't deny the work. That's why I be saying the work, you got to go through the work. A lot of people haven't went through the work. A lot of people haven't went through the language, the ancient language. A lot of people haven't went through the tablets and the coffin text and all these texts to be like, oh, this comes from this comes from this. A lot of people haven't done the work because they don't have the lexicon, they don't have the aptitude or the inspiration to go there. So when people becoming like they got this extreme wisdom, man, it's like when I talk to my Nation of Islam brothers. I know you passionate, but I know you don't know a lot because you don't study. Now, brothers like Wesley Muhammad, he studied, but I guarantee you Wesley Muhammad would agree with a lot of what I'm saying because I know they deal with the lessons, the supreme lessons. But I'm gonna tell you a lot of them lessons. It's just not factual. It's just not factual. It's just tradition, and you can't be mad at me. But this is what I wanted to tell y'all, man, which people won't share, but I share everything with y'all. I'm transparent. I have a full library with over 1 million books and documents, with no cap, and I'm an educator. I got a bachelor's degree in business with a minor in marketing and sales and nonprofit business startup. I have a dual master's degree in first century history, religion, and linguistics, and Christian leadership. So, Brother Absalom, if you want to get with me, man, my email is my last name, Goodman, GOODMAN, KHARY @gmail.com, and then I'll pass your information to my Mufti. And this is what I tell everybody: everybody don't have to be members, because member, you know, is contingent on my members. We give member dues. You can be a student, and all we ask for is small donations, and you can get there the level. Just like if I was teaching you martial arts, you can't. A lot of people be excited, Empress. They say, "Oh, I see the Muftis, I see their uniforms and all that," but it's some discipline. These brothers done been with me for 5 years. And we building something. So I tell people, yes, they might want to be a student and all that. I mean a member, but I want a person to be a student and then transfer to a member. That I want that some time because I want to build a relationship. I want to build something because we building a brick and mortar. And you can use me as a source. Like you don't have to go to Amazon to get no books. I'm the source. You can get them ebooks or I'll print them and bind them. My office number is 602-473-8767. You can just send me a text because right now I'm not going to answer because I got to spend my other time with my Empress because I like to split my life. But that's how brothers can get with me. And that's what I wanted to say. And I want people to join us privately on StreamYard and then Zoom because a lot of what I'm saying is going to be off social media and we're just going to have snippets. And I'm trying to do something for real, a brick and mortar, and give everybody a taxes and receipt and show you that everybody ain't out here to scam. You know? I have a mission, and I have Europeans to help. But with that being said, y'all, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Don't get caught up in nothing. Anything you're looking for, I have the wisdom. It's been done. All a person can do is try to reinvent themselves. It's no new wisdom. They ain't discovering nothing that nothing to discover. They just started digging again. But when we talk about tablets and when we talk about wisdom, and it's like, I have to say this, doing this conscious community, That's when this debating each other came out, the Hebrew against the Moor against this, and you got all these uneducated brothers. When you coming from wisdom and righteousness, you're going to go back to the Egyptian tablets, you're going to go back to the Alexandria, you're going to go back to a lot of things that we're going to agree on. And a lot of brothers not going to tell you. But yes, Dr. York did do a lot. The only thing that I could, and I'm not even criticizing because I can't criticize the man work, you know, is a lot of the pictures you see. Of course, they melanated, but a lot of the pictures, it almost looked like him. You know, some of the pictures, which it's no problem, you know. What I'm saying is the pictorial, the wisdom is A1. And until we're willing to share the wisdom like I do, to show you in all crafts as a Tasa Wu, as a master student, as a master teacher, and say, show you how to work with form, show you how to work with your hands, show you how to clean your room, show you how to keep your mind right, show you how to eat right, show you how to garden right, show you how to love right, show you how to be tender, show you how to care, show you how to all those things. That's what you get with us. Keep the temple clean, keep the dojo clean. That's building the whole body up. Having a library, getting our regalia and everything. Everybody be saying they Moors, and I say everybody should be getting their regalia from me. You shouldn't be worried about the cost. If you got Gucci, Louis, and all this, and you smoke Zaza, all that, come on. We want the best and all that. I hope when you going to eat, you ain't going to McDonald's all the time. I hope you eating the best. So that's what I'm saying. Let's do something, family. Support your brother, man. I love y'all, and we out. Brother Absalom, we love you. Once again, Goodman, Khary @gmail.com. That's Goodman, GOODMAN, KHARY @gmail.com. My office number is 602-473-8767. Please leave a text because I'm about to spend my other time because I got to split my life in pieces. And I love it. But with that being said, man, I love y'all. Use your brother as a library. Hit me up, call me, bug me. Hit me up, get some books. I give you bonuses. I love y'all. I'm serious. I love y'all. Anything you need, Brother Absalom. Okay, Brother Absalom. I see, Absalom, I forgot to say this. I got to say it. Brother Absalom, you live in Texas. We getting ready to be in, where's that, Noble Malik? We getting ready to have our 5th annual Moorish Ball, College Park. What is that, Bay, in Texas? What it's called? I forget. We getting ready to have our 5th annual Moorish Ball in Texas because one of our muftis stay in Texas. He just had a new seed, and another one of our muftis, his sister, stay out there. And so what we do each year, we have a nice Moorish gathering where we do things, go out to eat, you know, do whatever, fellowship, try to see how we can build and connect with brothers, man. Just link up with brothers that want to learn the right way, connect and stand strong. But I tell everybody, research me, man. You can even Google me, Khary Goodman Bey. I'm transparent. Google me. Google Sheikh Khary Goodman Bey on Google. Google Minister Khary Goodman. And see, I've been standing strong doing this for years. Taking kids to Phoenix Suns basketball games under my organization, teaching truth, educating. So I love y'all, man. Peace.